Наводку остановить, снаряд на лоток.
Я знаю, наводку остановить.
Есть. Орудие! Выстрел! Орудие! Выстрел! Заряжено! Выстрел!
Report by Press Center Chief of Zapad Group of Forces. The Zapad Group of Forces units continue to carry out combat missions of the Special Military Operation in Kupiansk direction. In the defense area of the Combined Arms Army, motorized rifle units supported by helicopters and artillery repelled 3 counterattacks of AFU 30th, 60th Mechanized, 95th or Assault Brigades assault groups near Lake Limon. The enemy was forced to retreat in southwestern direction. Tormu anti-aircraft missile system under the command of Captain Alexander Makarovich destroyed 1 Ukrainian Valkyrie unmanned aerial vehicle close to Veliki Vyselki. 152mm 2S-19M Stas self-propelled artillery system under the command of Junior Sergeant Yuri Berezin destroyed 1 T-64 with the use of a Krasnopol high-precision projectile near Tabayevka. The AFU losses amounted to up to 130 Ukrainian troops, 4 T-64 tanks, 3 2S-1G Vozdika self-propelled artillery systems, 1 U.S.-made 155mm M777 howitzer, 5 pickup trucks, 3 mortars, 1 UAV command post, and 1 ammunition supply depot. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. In Kupiansk direction, units of the Zapad Group of Forces supported by helicopters and artillery repelled 1 attack of the AFU 60th Mechanized Brigade's assault group close to Sinkovka. In addition, the Zapad Group of Forces inflicted a fire damage on AFU manpower and hardware clusters close to Petropavlovka, Berestovoy Kharkov region, Stelmakhovka. Up to 20 Ukrainian troops, 3 armored fighting vehicles, 3 motor vehicles, and 1 G-Vostok self-propelled artillery system have been eliminated. In Krasny Limon direction, the Center Group of Forces units, aviation, and artillery repelled 1 attack of the AFU 63rd Mechanized Brigade's assault group close to Chervenaya Dubrova and inflicted fire damage on strongholds of the 5th National Guard Brigade near Serebryansky Forestry. More than 160 Ukrainian troops, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 3 motor vehicles, and 1 Akatsia self-propelled artillery system have been eliminated. In Donetsk direction, units of the Yug Group of Forces supported by aviation and artillery inflicted fire damage on AFU manpower and hardware near Vesyaloy, Razdalovka, Kleshchevka, Andreevka, and Kurdymovka. More than 200 Ukrainian troops, 1 tank, 3 infantry fighting vehicles, 1 armored personnel carrier, 13 motor vehicles, and 2 G-Vostok self-propelled artillery systems have been eliminated. 1 artillery ordnance depot of the AFU 46th Airmobile Brigade was destroyed near Kurakhovo. In South Donetsk direction, units of the Vostok Group of Forces supported by aviation and artillery hit units of AFU 72nd, 79th Air Assault Brigades near Novomikhailovka. More than 140 Ukrainian troops, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 4 motor vehicles, and one Vostok self-propelled artillery system have been eliminated. In Zaporozhye direction, units of the Russian group of forces supported by artillery inflicted losses on manpower and hardware of AFU 65th Mechanized, 3rd, 14th National Guard brigades close to Verbovoy, Rabotino, and Novoprokopovka. Up to 20 Ukrainian troops, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 3 motor vehicles, and 1 D-30 howitzer were destroyed. In Kherson direction, as a result of the systematic fire impact, the AFU suffered losses of 40 troops, 8 motor vehicles, and 1 Vostok self-propelled artillery system. Missile troops and artillery of the Russian group of forces have engaged 1 PAL base and 109 AFU artillery units at their fire positions, manpower, and military hardware in 142 areas during the day. Russia's air defense shot down 25 unmanned aerial vehicles close to Kremenaya, Belogorovka, Krivishevka, Nikolaevka, Verkhnekamenka, Spornoy, Pishinishnoy, and 3 Tochka U tactical missiles. In total, 567 airplanes and 265 helicopters, 10,689 unmanned aerial vehicles, 450 air defense missile systems, 14,632 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,202 combat vehicles equipped with MLRS, 7,736 field artillery cannons and mortars, as well as 17,489 units of special military equipment have been destroyed during the special military operation. The increasing research on smallpox viruses and other human pathogenic orthopox viruses being conducted by U.S. military specialists is of particular concern. Chief of Nuclear, Chemical, and Biological Protection Troops of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov, for example, an increase in non-endemic Asian tiger mosquitoes has already been recorded in southern and central Europe during the last 2 years. In Germany, populations of this species have developed in 5 federal districts. Another mosquito species that is a vector of the West Nile fever has been identified in Sweden and Finland. At the same time, an increase in the incidence of uncharacteristic vector-borne infections was noted in the EU countries. More people infected with dengue fever were reported in Europe during the year than in the previous decade. The peak incidence of the West Nile fever has also been recorded more than 1,000 cases, 92 of them fatal. Of particular concern is the increase in research on smallpox viruses and other human pathogenic orthopox viruses by U.S. military specialists. This involves the evaluation of monkeypox virus as a potential infectious biological agent and the search for agent mimics of smallpox viruses. I would like to note that only 2 institutions are allowed to work with this virus: the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the USA and the State Research Center of Virology and Biotechnology Vector in Russia. However, despite a ban by the World Health Assembly, aerobiological experiments using 2 strains of smallpox virus were conducted by staff of the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases. The relevant document showing the involvement of the U.S. DoD in the research is shown on the slide. This situation clearly demonstrates the U.S. administration's disregard for international biosafety norms. Such work has the potential to trigger a global epidemic emergency, as a significant proportion of the population has become susceptible to smallpox and other orthopox viruses as a result of loss of population immunity. The monkeypox pandemic and the increase in the incidence of cowpox virus worldwide over the past 10 years are clear examples. I would like to remind you that American researchers have a keen interest in the synthesis of orthopox viruses.